welcome back. I am Goddess Toya, and you are here at Triggered to Transform, where you get to meet yourself where you are every day in an effort to evolve into your greatest self. I'm going to switch my body around because I still ain't been to get waxed. Mind your business. Okay? And this is really, I don't want to be, I don't want to see it truthfully. And I'm just going to turn so that I got a little different situation going on here. Okay, you got to know your angles. You got to know your angles. How are you doing today? Okay. Yeah. Okay. Congratulations. That is good news. I'm so proud of you and everything that you've been up to. I've got to be completely transparent and say that this weather has had me kind of on a sleepy side. Truthfully, I have felt really drained. Like, I gotta go to sleep. Today is really the first day that I've had enough energy to be up after I woke up at 6 o'clock, did yoga and meditation, and fell back asleep and missed a 9 o'clock meeting. Triggered. And when my director called me, I wasn't quite awake yet. And so I am able to listen to the meeting by Zoom, but it's kind of been like that. Even in my YouTube journey, I didn't post on this last Friday, right? I changed my posting schedule to Monday, Wednesday, Friday, so that I'm giving the algorithm enough time to speed or to pick up. And so but this is my first week doing it. So I said, okay, Shatoya, give yourself some grace. Just continue to do your recordings every day so that you're not behind on that. So we are here inside of day 37. And this week we are talking about liberated communication. We really want to, I don't want to say switch, I want to say shift our communication from being lax, from being tempered, to confident, sound, clear, ultra clear. Did I say clear? Okay. Clear communication with yourself first, right? Because that's where we start. If I don't know what I'm saying, then I can't expect anybody else to know what I'm saying. Why I'm saying it, I've got to know why I'm saying it. Why I feel that way, I've got to know why I feel the way I feel. This is all about developing liberated communication. Okay? Now, let me go over here just a second because I don't want to tell y'all wrong. Let me go. Because we talked about last week oppression, right? And how if you're not operating in your oppression or in oppression, you are liberated. So liberated by Google standards means to describe someone or something set free from imprisonment, confinement, or oppressive constraints, often referring to breaking away from traditional social, sexual, and economic roles. It's a state of being unbound, unrestricted, and independent. So are you liberated or oppressed by our wonderful Paulo Freire that we read last week? You all remember this? Did you get it? Because this is going to be a big piece of context for us in the Trigger Transform Self-Mastery Academy. Okay? Because we've got to be aware and sure of what it is that we are working through, why we're even working through it, and how it sets us on a path to where we really want to be, right? If we decide that we even want to be liberated, do we know that we're operating in oppressive communication with ourselves, right? Even though your communication with other people may seem, I want to say even, right? Like you are getting the information, they're receiving the information, but how are you receiving and giving the information within yourself? What are you saying to yourself? Is your self-talk liberated or oppressed? Then we can get to everybody else. So last night, we talked about compliance scripts. When I say last night, but whenever you watch the last video. Okay. And thank you for coming back. Let me pause and say thank you. See how I just start teaching sometimes? Thank you so much for coming back, for being in space and time with what it is that you're up to, and utilizing this as a place where you get to see you and operate and work within what it is that you are up to. And I may have already said that, and if I did, I apologize, but I just felt to say it again, okay? Thank you so much. Remember to like, subscribe, and share this video and any other video that you know is resonant with you. If this video is not for you and you know someone that is working through their own personal transformations, thank you. Thank you. Send it to them. Send it to them and let them know that you are very proud of them for the work that they're doing on themselves, and that you can see a difference. And let them be your inspiration to continue the journey yourself. It was something else that I wanted to come in here and say before I get too far into this conversation tonight. Not too long before I came on, I got some pretty devastating news. And I almost didn't do this tonight. I'm tearing up just getting to it. And so I know that I had kind of already started my own repression of what it is that I'm feeling and experiencing right now. I had a message that came through, I don't know, a few hours ago, that took my breath away. One of my clients transitioned completely unexpectedly. And so she's such a beautiful spirit, such a wonderful woman, very young. We were really excited about her upcoming year and the things that she desired for herself and where she was headed and the growth that she was after and what she knew was possible for herself. And so this conversation today is dedicated to her, and because it's so new, I won't say her name today, and I will get permission from the family to dedicate even maybe a series of these conversations to her, because she was that big of a light, and she was one of the first people this year that engaged in the Trigger to Transform program and saw immediate results and was really excited about what was going to happen with her, working with and through the things that she wanted to work through. So sending lots of love to her and her family in her transition. And our community is definitely, it's a huge loss for us and will be felt for a very long time. To that, I just want to say, make the phone call. When you think about it, call, text, email, because this fragile space that we dwell in and occupy, it is temporary. It is very temporary. And through our experiences and our willingness to better ourselves, we get connected with people who are on that same path. And they become family. They really become family. And we just never know. We just never know. And so do that thing. Give that hug. Send that letter. Send that kiss. Because and I say that too, because our next check-in is in 2 days. She's on my calendar for 2 days. And so when I thought about her, I was like, oh, maybe I'm just excited about getting to speak with her again, or maybe I'm excited about this check-in. But we're going to be together on the 26th, like. So definitely follow your gut, okay? Follow your gut. This is something, tonight's conversation for day 37, y'all. Thank you for holding space for me. Day 37 is something that I continuously work on. And it may be why I chose the career path that I have when teaching, because I'm an over-explainer. I am an over-explainer, and I no longer apologize for that. I do monitor my over-explaining, and I turn it down and I dial it back when it starts to mess with my autonomy, when it starts to feel like I'm having to give up my agency, when it feels like I am being controlled or manipulated or gaslit, however you want to say it. I stop over-explaining. In these settings, my over-explanations are for the point of comprehension. I want you all to understand what I'm saying. I want to drive my point home. And that was what I was also doing in my everyday life. I wanted to drive my point home. You got to hear me. You got to understand what I'm saying. And through those several dynamics that I said earlier, like, the over-explaining because I want it to be heard, or the over-explaining because, other than that, I still have to monitor myself. Where can I say it just once? Where can I be more concise in what it is that I'm talking about, the engagement that I'm offering? What is my over-explaining actually doing to my conversation and my communication with other people? Are they sick of hearing the same thing over and over again? And so I really had to, and I still have to. It's not a past tense thing. It's something that I still work through. But I noticed, like I said, if I feel like I'm being manipulated now, or I definitely understand manipulation better now, I can shut it down. This is why curiosity is so important to me, because I work in a field where repetition is key. I am trained to say the same thing over and over again in different ways to support all of my students. And I can't even say saying, I'm trained to operate in a way where I'm noticing students' learning style. So if they're an auditory learner, kinesthetic learner, excuse me, y'all, a visual learner, like putting these things in place so that I'm not over-explaining, but I am generalizing. I'm not over-explaining. I'm not over-generalizing the information, so that every learner, if you will, is able to see the information in a way that makes sense to them. I was about to over explain. So I laughed at myself when I got to this one. I was like, oh, this is perfect, because this is somewhere that I can work into myself. Okay. So this week, or in the next 3 days, I would say, look at what you're over explaining. Consider taking an over explaining detox. Where am I saying the same thing more than once? And what is the key to creating a better communication in that? How can I lessen, right, what I say to be heard in clarity, right? And so one way to do that, excuse me, to be heard, to lessen clarity, is to know what you're going to say. You may actually take a moment to jot some things down. You may provide a space after you've said something for clarity, for people to ask questions. And you may actually say, I want to be clear. Do you have any questions about what I shared? If they say no, you just stop talking. You don't see, this is where I used to mess up. No. Okay, well, good. So you understand that. And they're like, damn it, didn't I just tell you I didn't have no questions? God. I still feel it, y'all. So, you can look at it like that. I'm going to give just 3 of these tonight. The third and final way that you can check your temperature for I'm going to say overthinking, but over explaining, or in your over explaining detox, where you see yourself over explaining things. Excuse me. You can pause. Pause is my favorite tool, and it just flows in most places. Pause. When you hear yourself over explaining, give your nervous system a rest. Okay? You don't have to drill your point home. You can just be at peace with the idea that I might be misunderstood, and I'm going to trust the situation. If someone doesn't understand what I'm saying, then they're going to be brave enough to ask me, because you're constantly offering space. Okay, let me know if you have any questions. Okay, is that clear to you? Okay, come get me if something comes up. Right? You're constantly offering space so that the person trusts that if they have questions, then they can come to you and gain clarity. So you've written your notes, you've paused. What's the last one? What do you all think is the last one? I can't say the last. What do you think is one more thing that you can do to check in on yourself in the over-explaining and your over-explaining detox? Okay, write that down. Write it down. And then put it in the comments what you do. Right? When you notice that you're over explaining something. Okay? You got it? All right. All right, so the third, did I say the third before? Well, that was the second. This one's the third. Y'all, keep up. It's me. It really is something when someone transitions. Like, I can't not feel it right now. So part of me, while my mind comes back and forth through this space. The third and final thing that I would say is an important measure when tapping into your over-explaining tendency. It may have actually been the first thing, But to understand why we're doing that. Why am I over explaining myself in the now, in the present moment? What do I feel like I'm not understanding in this? How can I create a clarity within myself that allows me to be confident in what I'm sharing? What measures do I need to take? I want us, and of course, I hope everyone knew the answer to that is curiosity. The last step is being curious, right? Not, did y'all hear me? Not, do you have any questions? Not that type of curiosity. We're not talking about that. We're talking about curiosity within, and why over-explaining is triggered into your nervous system. When what happens? When do you feel like you need to over-explain yourself? Do you do that all the time, or is it when you're in certain situations? Right? Who are you most likely to over-explain yourself to? It's usually like a spouse or a significant other. You may do that with your parents. I don't know a lot of people that do it with their children, but in common, there may be parents that over-explain to their children that, and I could probably think back to some instances where I've been a parent that over-explained to my child, but in comma, it's not something I generally see a whole lot. But find out the nuances of that system that's operating within you and how you can debug it. Because again, over-explaining is necessary in certain settings, right? We have to structure our over-explaining because it needs to be purposeful. In the classroom, I'm writing things on the board, I'm handing out worksheets, I'm providing textures and other applications and adaptations to the learning. I'm expanding the learning for the students that seem to be grasping it. I'm providing auditory messages. I'm applying, excuse me, of course, visual lessons. And, so it's over-explained. It's repetition in the classroom setting. So unless a rule of thumb could be, unless I am teaching a lesson, then and when I'm teaching a lesson, my conciseness is necessary, and the structure of my lesson should be adapted to students that are of every learning style. That's my commitment as an educator, right? But with my girlfriend, she might not need to know why I chose to wear pink socks with this purple sweatshirt. My neighbor might not care about my 16-minute TED Talk on opening a bottle of wine. But I want to do that because I don't want to do that. I don't want anybody talking to me about 16 minutes of wine opening. What? Okay. So say it once. Say it clearly. Say it concisely. Get curious. Ask questions about yourself. Write down what it is that you want to say, what you want to establish inside of a conversation. And pause. Check in with your nervous system. Am I over-explaining because I don't want to be made wrong? Am I over-explaining because I'm being manipulated? Am I over-explaining because I'm afraid of what might not happen? Why am I doing that? Like, share, subscribe, comment. Hug your people, call them, and tell them how much they mean to you. All I know is something's happening, and it's real, y'all. It is real. And I'm so grateful that you're here. I really am. I'm so grateful that you're here. Thank you for keep coming. Thank you for those of you that keep coming back to this space. Thank you for the 22 subscribers that are on this channel. Thank you for the 88 subscribers to come. Thank you for being here from day one. Thank you if today is your day one. You don't know how much it means for you to take your evolution and existence on this planet this serious, and to consider what that means for your descendants and how they operate within their liberation. Right? We're doing this so that we're all free, mentally, physically, emotionally, economically, financially, free. And it's all dependent on you and your ability to be free and sovereign. And congratulations for everything that you're accomplishing right now. I'm Goddess. Goddess is all I am. I am the many. I am the one. God blessings. Goddess blessings to you all. Be well.